What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing you guys some features on the new Galaxy Z Fold 6 that I'm sure a lot of people are not aware of. Some tips and tricks, so let's get rolling. First one here that I'm sure a lot of people don't know is if you go to your notification pane on your Fold device. This also works on other Samsung devices. And let's just take one of these Reddit posts. You can drag the notification and you can put it somewhere in split screen here, either top, side, left, anywhere on the screen. So I'm just going to put it on the right here, and it's going to immediately open this up in split screen. So essentially, if you were doing something, if you're already in an app and scrolling and you didn't want to leave your place, you could essentially just put it in split screen real quick. So let's just do an example here with like web browser. I know I'm a degenerate. I need to close my tabs. So let's try that again. Let's just say I'm web browsing in my web browser, and I just want to pick this one here. And I'm just going to put it on the right side, and then it's going to keep the article I was looking at here, and then have my notification on this side. And you can do this, like I said, with up to 3 different tiles. So let's do a different app here. And you got to kind of like hold it until it goes into that settings window, and then you can drag it out. So there we go. Now we got 3 apps going. So you can pull your notifications into split screen mode, and it has been an awesome feature to use on the new Fold 6. All right, so the next tip and trick I've got here is continuing all apps on the cover screen. And this is already an option that's in display. And if you scroll down to your settings, you go to display here. And you scroll down to this point here, it says continue apps on cover screen. So essentially when you close your phone, it'll continue whatever app that you were in on the cover screen. I prefer this. I like to have this for all of my apps. However, if you were to install a new app, it may not lock in this setting. So to ensure that it does it for all new apps, we're going to be using an app called Good Lock. If you guys aren't familiar, you can go and get Good Lock from the Samsung store. So in Good Lock, and I could probably do an entire video on Good Lock, but it has all of these different modules that can help you tweak your phone in advanced ways. I would recommend just downloading all of them and just messing around with them. But the one we're going to be looking at here is in Multistar, and it's under the I Love Galaxy Foldables. And then this option right here, continue all apps on cover screen. This will even force apps that aren't compatible with this function to continue on the cover screen. So it's kind of a way to force it to do so. And the next tip here, and I always do this with all of my phones, and I'm going to show you guys here, it's a developer setting. So in order to get this developer option here, what we're going to end up doing is going to About Phone, Software Information, and we're going to click on this build number here until developer mode activates. So right now I already have it turned on, but you'll have to hit this about 10 times, then it'll activate developer mode. And then within developer mode, we're going to be going down, scrolling down, drawing section, and changing our animation speeds. So by default, this is set to animation scale of 1. And we're going to change it to 0.5 for all 3 of these. And it just makes things more snappy. Essentially makes windows open and close faster, just makes the phone feel snappier. Another tip here, and if you're like me and you have recently owned a Pixel device, you'll be used to pressing for your assistant on the power button, which you can do natively on a Samsung device, but it'll bring up Bixby. In order to change this, it looks like I activated Bixby. Stop. In order to change this, we're going to go to Good Lock again. And we're going to be going to the module called Registar, or downloading the module called Registar if you don't already have it. And inside of Registar, just make sure you go through the permissions that it asks you for. So you can do a side key press and hold action. And I have mine set to access the Google Voice Assistant, which is what I'm used to because I used to have a Pixel. There's other things you can do, like turning on and off the flashlight, turning on and off auto rotate, turning on and off live caption. So there's a bunch of different things that they'll let you do. Show notifications. Some of you guys might be used to the swipe down on the power button. That might help you out there if you're used to that with some of the older fold devices. Or you can have it open any app you want. I personally like having it as Google Assistant. And then if I hold the power button, going to bring up my assistant here. Okay, so next tip and trick, and I'm sure you guys can already see this already here, but I have 12 apps on my taskbar. And I know some people might think that's too many. These are all the apps that I use, and I absolutely love it. If I'm in my web browser and I want to put Reddit into split screen here, just drag and drop, and there we go. And so these allows me to access all of my favorite applications all the time in the taskbar. And in order to do this, we will need to go and get GoodLock. As I was showing you guys earlier in the video, this is an app that you can get from the Samsung store. It's called GoodLock. And back in here, in GoodLock, there's two different categories. There's one that's kind of visual and the other one's more advanced type settings. So this is going to be under the visual. And the module that we are using is called Home Up. So if you go to Home Up and you go to Home Screen, you can tell it how many of the maximum favorite apps you want to have. The default is 8, but you can increase it all the way up to 12, like I have here. Is it gonna let me do more? Nope. I saw it brought up a number pad. I'd never seen that. So anyway, we can do the max of 12. And now I can have all of my favorite apps in here. And it can easily access my multitasking. Next tip here, this is also going to be in GoodLock. And we go back to Multistar. And then scroll down here. We can check this setting here, keep in split screen mode. This will help you with multitasking. If you've ever tried to like put an app in split screen and then all of a sudden it goes full screen, it can be kind of annoying. So essentially what this does, if you're already in split screen and you open a new app, then it's going to keep it in split screen. So let me show you what that means. Let's go ahead and put Reddit into a split screen view. Along with, we'll just go back to our web browser here. So now you see this little icon here that'll bring up all of your apps. Now we can go ahead and open up another app just by clicking on it, and it's gonna immediately put it in split screen next to that app, instead of making it full screen and then disabling your split screen. So it'll essentially help you with multitasking and keep multitasking when you open up a new app. Next tip I'm going to show you has to do with sound. And for some reason this is turned off by default. If we go into our settings and we scroll down and we go to sounds and vibrations, and then we go into the sound quality and effects, we can check the Dolby Atmos experience. We can check that on, and then we can change it to be auto, movie, music, voice. I keep mine on auto. And as another thing that we can do, there's an upscaler function that works when you're wearing headphones. Additionally, there's an adapt sound. What this does is it'll test your ears to determine the mids and the lows and the highs that you need for your age. So if you turn this on, you can do it for under 30 years, 30 to 60 years old, over 60 years old, or you can do your own custom profile. And what this is gonna do is if you put on headphones and you go to a quiet place, it's gonna start kind of beeping in your ear, and it's gonna ask you if you can hear it. And you say yes or no, and then it'll fine tune your headphones to be your perfect experience for you. And it works pretty well. I've used it on my prior folds. I need to do it on my new Z Fold 6, but that is a pretty cool feature that I'm sure a lot of people do not know about. Next tip, this is a new setting, or it's been refined from what it used to be. But if we go down to battery in our settings, we can go to battery protection. And inside of battery protection, we can toggle this on, and you can change it between basic, adaptive, and maximum. The old version was just maximum, and it was up to 85%. They've now changed this down to 80%. So it'll only charge your phone to 80%. This adaptive will try to learn your sleep patterns, and it's gonna slow your charging in the middle of the night in order to reduce battery strain. Whereas basic is just gonna charge it to 100%, and then if it's left plugged in, it'll charge the phone until it goes down to 95%. So I like to have it on adaptive and see if it can learn my sleep patterns. All right, and the next feature here that I'm sure a lot of people are unaware of, and this one's actually limited to the Z Fold 6 at the moment, until some of the AI features come to the other phones. So I personally like using Kiwi browser. Here's just a website talking about the new One UI 7.0. And if you use Chrome, it's gonna look very similar to this. But what you can do is you can open this in your Samsung internet browser. So I've now opened this in the Samsung internet browser. And what I can do, and if you got your screen closed, this will actually be at the bottom, but if it's open, it's going to be shown at the top here. You can go to this little AI looking star icon and you can summarize the article. This has been awesome for me. Sometimes people send me an article and I just don't have time to read it. So I'll just throw it into my Samsung internet browser and get a quick summary. This isn't super in depth here, but a lot of times it'll get to the point and tell you like the key main points of the article that you're summarizing. So in this case, it's showing leaked screenshots of the One UI 7.0 update and new battery and charging pop-up status. These are all leaks at this point. Nothing's fully confirmed. But anyway, you can do this with any site. Well, any site that doesn't actually have a paywall. So if this one has a paywall, it may not work. This one ended up working. This is showing your average 401k balance by age and kind of gives you all the key main points. Median 401k balance is significantly lower. Yikes. Or here's another one, 5 reasons you need a second SSD. Let's see if that'll work. We're going to summarize this from XDA. See if it'll give me the 5 reasons why. Yep. So it gave me all the main talking points here. It gave me all 5 reasons why you should have a second SSD on your computer. So I really love that feature. I know the AI stuff's kind of overhyped, but this is something that I'm going to be using all the time. All right, and let's go through one more feature. This is also an AI feature that's only on the Z Fold 6 at the moment, but it's a pretty cool one. So I'm gonna go click on any open area here and change my wallpaper and style, this button. So I'm gonna go to change wallpaper. And down here, you can see there's a new category called Create with AI. I'm gonna go to the photo ambient. So what this is gonna do, it's gonna take one of your photos that you've taken. It's going to change it based on the weather outside as well as the time of day. It's going to make it brighter and darker. So let's go ahead and try this out. Let's go with this photo here. This is a photo I took on a lake, and in the info here it says based on default location in the weather app, photo and ambient weather uses AI to change your photo to sunny, raining, or snowing. It'd be kind of funny if it showed this snowing, depending on your local weather, and adjust the look for morning, midday, evening, and night. So we'll see how long this takes. I'm gonna come back to this once it has changed. And another thing to be aware of is it's only gonna work on the lock screen on your phone. So it isn't gonna work on your main screen, just the lock screen, just FYI. All right, so here we are back. I've let it sit for a little while and you can see this is the original photo. And then this is what it turned into during sunset. Pretty cool. And then the nighttime wasn't as good. I thought it'd be a little better, but that is this here. It just kind of almost looked like it darkened the image, and I'm not even sure if it was working properly at night. I feel like it should have changed the sky to be, instead of blue, like a black. So, but this one was pretty cool, the way that it was able to replicate like a sunset at a certain time. So anyway, there you go. Dynamic backgrounds. That'll do it for this video. If you guys like this content, consider subscribing. I'm gonna do some more tutorials on things like good lock. Also gonna start doing some more tips and tricks on certain phones, reviewing certain features, and also diving into some tech tutorials. So stay tuned. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below in the comments, and have a wonderful day.